I need you to fight one last time. Life has been so unfair to you. Your childhood was taken from you. You've been attacked, manipulated by terrible people. But you never let it break you. Fight for the days on the other side of this. Fight for a world beyond Hawkins. Let's end this, kid.
Mother of God.
Okay, today we'll talk about the Stranger Things season 5 finale, the finale to the end of the show. I know, as I know people have like a lot of mixed opinions. Season 5 as a whole, it's been like a mixed, it's been like a very mixed with some people, and I get that. Some people are comparing it to Game of Thrones last season. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never seen Game of Thrones before. I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I heard, for all I heard about Game of Thrones is that the last season really did suck. That's from what I heard. And so this season 5, a lot of people have mixed reviews. A lot of people saying that it was the worst. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you'll just kiss an ass to Netflix. Yada yada yada. I'm sure there's gonna be some people like that who's always the same trying to like be an ass kisser to Netflix or like Stranger Things. No, I'm not. I'm just giving you my own opinion, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. They can have whatever opinion they want. If you like the show, that's good. If you did not like the show, that's good too. How I think about the season 5, I do really do think season 5 was the best season. I hate my opinion. I think every season of Stranger Things just gets better than the last. And here's why I think season 5 was really good, because of how suspenseful it really was. You had like so many things, so many questions. Some maybe good, some maybe not so questions. But a lot of questions you had was about 11 Jenna hide and then it's being away from the military, or the military. When I would tell the military to stay with the upside down, they're just trying to guard it, but they also know what the fuck's going on either. Um, then you get like Vecna. You get like, where the fuck is Vecna hiding? Because he has to be somewhere in the upside down, as we thought. So he has to be in somewhere in the upside down. And to be honest, yeah, because it's like honestly, if I got fucking burned alive, if I was in my little fucking hiding spot in the upside down, like a few people found me and tried to fucking shoot me with a shotgun and try to burn me fucking alive, yeah, I'm going somewhere. They can't fucking find me again, and it's not gonna be the upside fucking down. I'm going to a different fucking dimension where they can't find my ass. So, it's a cool thing I've seen of where Vecna was, and then like him, and then the Devil taking Holly, and like not know what the fuck's going on with Holly either. Wondering like where the hell Polly was gonna be, like where like, and then it's seeing Vecna's mind, and then see it like if Vecna was really friendly, or if he was gonna be like friendly to the kids, or what he was gonna do to the like what he was gonna do. I say he was gonna keep them safe, but of course he doesn't. Then you had like a bunch of you had like there was so many damn questions about this whole thing. It was really freaking good. So many questions. Like another one. It's like is uh is Lucas's theory correct about Will, the anniversary of Will being taken? Pretty much, yeah. It was pretty much correct that Lucas was correct that the anniversary of Will being taken was when the the whole thing ended, basically. Kind of pretty cool to have that. Then you had an introduction of 8 here. One of like so I've seen so many people thinking 8 was just gonna betray them, which because how she felt about about Brenner, I was like them, and then like also shocking thing how like fucking military was only was gonna try to replicate the experiment, but of course they didn't. So a lot of people were thinking that like by the way, this one it's a fan made trailer by the way, so it's one she has it's fan made. This did there's a Vecna and Steve didn't happen of course. Also Vecna does have spikes, so it's a little fan made trailer. So like make that clear. You had like 8. So many people were thinking 8 was aka Callie. She was gonna like betray them somehow. Turns out she did. She was still helping him out. Uh, that was another shock that I thought they were another shock that I did not think they would do. Also Will finally getting his fucking powers. You know, like how the fuck they gonna manage to do that? Or did he always have them? Stuff like that. Um, it was really cool. It was a really cool thing. And then the kids, like, wonder what the hell's gonna happen to the kids? Like, what the hell is Vecna planning? You know, he's gonna merge and like the whole thing of like the upside down being and Hawkins essentially being a wormhole through to the abyss. Which was a really cool twist with that one. Pretty cool. It was a really cool twist. Then you had like most of like a fucking Nancy being like having like a fucking machine gun shooting into the military people. It was really cool. It's like so it was like very really suspenseful. To me, this season was really suspenseful. Also, you had like Holly and Max. You don't know if like they were gonna escape, if like if Vecna was gonna catch up to them, kill them again. There's so many shows so suspenseful, but I get why people have like nitpicks, and I completely understand that. I really do. So, so about the finale, the final episode of Stranger Things as a whole, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. I guess some nitpicks here a little bit. One of the nitpicks I really had was I wish the fight could have lasted longer. I really do wish the fight could have lasted longer. So basically, one of the really cool fucking twists is that the hideout that the tree that Vecna was hiding, turns out it transforms into the Mind Flayer, which is pretty cool. But however, the Mind Flayer didn't really last long. They fucking kill the Mind Flayer. Then Nancy hides with the cave. Everyone else they like ambush him to throw him all the little basically just to light him on fire basically. And obviously bullets didn't really do shit because Nancy was essentially the distraction. But then they let the Mind Flayer on fire, which is a pretty cool thing. But the fight, I wish the fight would have lasted longer. I really wish they could have called in some Demogorgon and it would pretty cool. But I mean, the point was also understands why, because they have the Mind Flayer, and you really do think that a Mind Flayer just could have killed them all, you know? Fucking, and then inside of the Mind Flayer, it's Vecna and 11 fight, which is a pretty cool fight. I was, yeah, here some Christmas, and just like, it was like them just pushing each other around, which I do understand that. But a really cool twist was that is that Will was actually being able to control Vecna, and he basically, it's part where 11 and Vecna fighting, there's a spike behind Vecna, so 11's trying to push Vecna to the spike. And then Will gets into Vecna's mind, as part where Vecna tries to grab 11, but Will stops him and basically causes 11 to basically push him onto the spike. And Will Will gets him like Will basically fucking cuts Vecna's arm, his left arm off, and which still allows 11 to push him onto the spike. So a little bit of we'll I kind of went backwards. There was a play in here that it was basically, I believe it was, yeah, two, technically three party three of them split up. It was so you basically had Max and Vicky. They were hiding in the radio tower. You had the upside down and going to Hawkins' lab was Callie, Murray, Hopper, and 11. And then they had he had the idea of 11 going into the water tank. Same thing you saw in season 1. Callie basically going, like, she's able to create illusions, go to people's mind. Callie and 11, they go to Max's mind to help Max and help get Max out and help the kids escape. But a really cool thing that happened to that is that Hopper, Vecna, she made Hopper's mind. Basically gets him to see Sarah, who's his daughter. Basically says that tells Hopper that like Eleven's going to die just like she did, and so Hopper sees Henry, aka Vecna, because he's never fucking seen him, or at least he thinks it's Vecna. So he shoots Vecna. Of course, Vecna disappears, and what what the illusion that Vecna made was that Hopper shot. Let me move my mic closer to you guys real quick. Is that Hopper made it seem like so Vecna made it seem like Hopper shot 11 in the tank because you see like blood coming out, the holes. Of course, Hopper thinks he shot 11, so he's of course gets 11 out, and 11's like all confused, like what the fuck. Turns out they find out that Vecna was able to invade Hopper's mind, and basically cut that plan out, cut that plan. But the kids were still able to escape Vecna's mind, which is pretty cool. Then the reason why Henry was so scared of the cave because he wound up killing. He basically beat the one dude to death while he was a Boy Scout. But then he kind of like gets like a stone which gives him powers and lets him see like the Upside Down and the abyss where 11 originally sent him to. But then Henry eventually tries to catch up. He tries to catch up to the kids, but the kids all disappear. It kind of just cuts after that, which is kind of weird. And then in the so back to the Upside Down at Hawkins' lab, the military, of course, finds out what the hell they're doing. First they invade they go to the church. They see the radio tower abandoned. They're gonna go to the radio tower, find Max and Vicky hiding in there. Take them away, find out their plan, find out they're going to the Upside Down. So then the military finds out that's where 11 is. So they find 11 Hopper and Callie. And basically what happens is they're in Hawkins' lab. They basically military is trying to look. They captured Hopper and Callie 8, and basically they're trying to figure out where 11 is. So the one military guy, I forget his name. One guy who gets like his one eye fucked up. He basically has gone to 8, and basically he tells Hopper like, "Where is she? Or I will shoot 8." Really cool fucking tense scene. Then while that's happening, at the very top, he basically throws a grenade to a helicopter, it blows up at the same time. You think that it would just be the helicopter going off? That it would be the helicopter being destroyed, but it's not. The helicopter does get destroyed, but also the guy shoots Callie. He ends up shooting Callie, kills Callie. I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh, but Callie was kind of like a pointless character. I really do think her being brought back and actually helping out was a pretty cool thing. It was a pretty cool thing that she was brought back. But I do think like her death was kind of like, it was just like, oh, okay. She was pretty cool having her back, but like, yeah, the kind of one of the last experiments. I guess it makes sense why she died. And then so after the explosion, after the helicopter goes off, remember he explodes the helicopter. Hopper and 8 and Hopper goes back to 11. Then they meet up to Murray, and Murray just confused where the Callie is. Turns out Callie died. They find out Callie died. Then back at the radio tower, the Upside Down of the radio tower, basically like waiting for the Upside Down to collapse to get close to them, so they can get to the abyss easier. It does, but also ends up nearly killing it, because what happens is the tower almost gets the antenna of the tower almost gets squashed fully. And what happens is a really cool thing. Speaking of Steve, really cool thing that happened is Steve. There was a part that I thought Steve was gonna die because it shows Steve like it shows Steve like nearly falling, and I thought they want to kill him off. They show Steve, but he nearly falls, but then Jonathan of course helps him out. Of course, which is a pretty cool scene. Then Jonathan helps him out. Then they get 11 stops the 11 basically in Henry's mind. 11 is what the kids basically trying to do the plan. 11 and Kelly they go into his mind, push Henry Weiss. Basically, it breaks that whole thing up. It breaks a collapse. So everyone at the tower and in the upside down is can get there much better. So pretty cool. It was a really cool thing, a really cool scene. And then so they basically get to the abyss. Pretty cool. It was a really cool thing. It was a really cool thing. I do wish like that they could have like the Mind Flayer back then. They could have had the Demogorgons. That kind of would have made a bit better of a threat. Honestly, it would have been pretty cool. So I missed anything else? Yeah. So and then they all get into with the upside. They always get into the abyss. They also really confused where they. Well, okay, you get Steve and Jonathan. They basically yeah, they kind of like joke about how they still don't like each other, even though they kind of like help each other out, which is pretty cool. Um, basically apologizing to each other, which is pretty cool. And then they eventually do make it to the tree, and but of course Will ends up like he ends up I'm not sure what I think he ends up seeing the kids and stuff like that. He ends up like going to like I don't know what kind of a trance maybe I'm not sure what you would call it, but also so you know Will there's a really cool thing where in the upside down get ready to go to the abyss where Will and uh Mike says like yeah it's all cool Mike essentially does not care that Will is gay, so and he's like yeah we can still be best friends. It was a really cool scene. Anyway, so he gets to the abyss. Of course, as Will's getting closer to the hive mind, his head gets all messed up. Basically Joyce with them, and they both tell everyone to like keep going. They find out that Henry's there. Well, not they kind of yeah they gotta find out Henry's there. They basically go there. The really cool twist is the tree turns into the Mind Flayer, which I think is a really cool fucking thing and a really cool fucking twist. Honestly, I was not expecting that whatsoever. Mind Flayer has a really cool design, but like I said, Mind Flayer the Mind Flayer goes down pretty quickly, which I do think was a complaint about that. As a Mind Flayer does go down really quick. Because what happens is once they're done burning him alive, 11 comes in, helps everyone out, and then they end up killing Vecna. 11 pushes him on a fucking spike, really cool. And then they get the kids out, and then I know this is before they get the kids, and then Joyce comes up, which is a really cool thing. She basically just chops fucking Vecna's head off, basically. She chops Vecna's head off for the shit that Vecna did and the Upside Down did to everyone else. So she fucking chops his head off as a little final blow, which I think is a fucking satisfying ass scene where Joyce gets the final blow. I thought that was really cool. And then they get all the kids out, and so they get everyone else out. They all escape the Upside Down. The military is like puts like a spike trap on the ramp from the go to the Upside Down. Well, there's leave the Upside Down from the library. Military puts like a spike trap down, shoots and basically there was like a Murray and Hopper. They steal like one of the military's jeeps, and of course Mary and everyone else and the kids they were in the little truck. They're not the little truck, they were in a truck. Basically, they're driving through, getting back out, and then there's a spike trap down there. Turns out the military is right there waiting for them. They're getting ready to arrest them. Also, before they leave the Upside Down, Murray and Hopper they set a bomb to destroy the Upside Down. Destroy the thing that Nancy and Jonathan that Nancy shot. They basically go Murray and Hopper they go put a bomb on that, destroy the Upside Down. And while they're getting arrested, really intense, heartbreaking scene. While they're getting out, while they're out of the Upside Down, they're getting arrested by the about to get arrested by the military. 11's there. She's basically in the Upside Down. She somehow was, I don't know how she was able to pull, was she basically somehow managed to pull Will out? I don't know how. But she somehow manages to get Will, no, not Will, Mike out, and basically for the final goodbye scene. Then 11 sacrifices herself, and while the Upside Down is, ending, she also dies, too, which is something I did not expect at all. It was a really heartbreaking scene, but also really that the Upside Down, after that, it cuts to like at 89, 18 months later, 1989, where the kids are getting ready to graduate. But of course, Mike wasn't at the graduation at first because he was still grieving, that dealing with the loss of 11, of course. He's still dealing with 11, and then Hopper finds him, basically just talks to him, and basically convinces Mike to go to the graduation, which is pretty cool. So they all graduate. However, Dustin becomes a valedictorian, and basically does what Eddie said he was gonna do. Where he flips off the principal. Then he just like rips out a shirt that says that Hellfire lives, and then it was a really cool scene with that one, really nice homage to Eddie. Then basically cuts you get like a I don't remember like the epilogue, and oh yeah, so it cuts to Steve's really cool. It cuts to Steve being like a baseball coach. It's a really cool thing to find out he's a sex ed teacher too. Um, it shows Joyce and Hopper finally at Enzo's, which is pretty cool. Hopper talks about how he got a job at Montauk, which basically a little fun fact is where Montauk, New York's where basically what convinced one of the things that inspired Stranger Things, which is pretty cool. So Hopper says he got a job in Montauk, New York, and basically telling Joyce that we should go rebuild, which is pretty cool. Um, and then so you get the kids, you get oh no, that's the kids is the last part. You get Joy, I mean not Joyce, Jonathan, Nancy, Robin, and Steve. You get all of them up at the roof of the radio tower, and basically they talk about how their lives are now, and they want to get away from Hawkins, but also find the time to spend. They also want to find time together, so which is pretty cool. So it was a really good scene, really kind of like heartbreaking scene too. Then, um, then the last scene is the kids, Mike, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Will, and Max. They're playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Basically finish they do a campaign, which is pretty cool. They do a little campaign, which is cool. And then Mike tells like a story of like what he thinks like the cast, like what he thinks the characters, like what he thinks of like happens to the characters, what happens to like Max, Lucas, Dustin, and Will. Um, really cool thing. You show Will like at a bar. I'm not sure what kind of bar it was. We show Will at a bar. Then his boyfriend comes up, which is pretty cool. It's a really cool scene, kind of like a nice rewarding scene showing that Will gets accepted. It shows as my phone just went off. It shows Dustin going to like being in a library studying. I forget what he was studying. Yeah, so you finally get Max and Lucas. Sorry, it took me a little bit. You get Max and Lucas. They're at the movies, which is pretty cool. They're at the movies. Something that they were talking about last season, which is pretty cool. Then they ask, what about the storyteller? What about Mike? Basically, Mike says that he basically becomes like a story writer, and also he talks about 11, what his theory is of 11. So his theory is that 11 is at the one place Mike talked about where the three waterfalls, and it shows 11 in like where it shows Kelly at the last breath helping 11 out, and then 11 you see 11 goes like a small town where she can escape her problems, which is pretty cool. But that's of course not what happened. That's of course just Mike's theory of what he thinks of 11. What he thinks 11 could, what he thinks 11 could be as a way of him helping him out, which would be cool. Then it cuts to like some of the kids that they helped that some of the, like I think 5 of the kids that were held captive by Vecna. It shows them. It shows them gonna playing Dungeons and Dragons. Then it cuts to fades to black and cuts to end credits. It was a really cool scene, and I really do think that it ended on a high note with this, of course, with some with some nitpicks here and there. With some nitpicks here and there, of course. Mostly like with the final battle. Kind of wish final battle could have lasted long. Could have been better, but I do think this season is definitely the best season, and I'm really disappointed that. Well, disappointed, but also really good because this show ended. Because we've seen so many shows that have gone on just way too damn long, and I think 5 seasons of Stranger Things is good. Apparently it's gonna be like a spin-off, Stranger Things Tales from '85. Not sure how that's gonna be, but looks like an animated. That looks like it's animated, so I might take a look at that. I'm gonna take a look at that at some point. Um, so yeah, I'll please feel free to let me know what you guys think. Please. I'm sure I know like this season had like mixed opinion, mixed. It was very mixed from a lot of people. I kind of understand that. I get that. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and I will see you guys later.